Greenville's new update has arrived and the snow has officially melted. Welcome back to green grass, which actually is now the first time we're seeing a bunch of the map with green grass, like the new roundabout area, green hills, the whole city of Horton, and even more like this area that just now got turned into a little farmer's market. Now that spring is here though, we have some new never before seen map additions popping up as well, starting with an extremely major one. Six Houses, the most iconic neighborhood in Greenville, is no more. Welcome to Six Estates, quite the appropriately named neighborhood I gotta say, Greenville's first gated community. Comes with a visitor's lane to check through, or you can just smash through the gate too, that also works. Once you're in, it's an extremely upscale and affluent neighborhood, complete with wide, freshly paved roads, walkways, brick walls as property dividers, and even the neighborhood's very own park at the end of this cul-de-sac with a playset, swings, and even a soccer field. Of course though, a neighborhood is nothing without its houses. This neighborhood delivers on that with 3 brand new house designs, finally. The first design is a relatively simple one, but a pretty large house nonetheless. 2 stories with a 3-car garage and a pretty spacious floor plan. Dining room off to the left when you first walk in, lounge area to the right, a big open living room with a kitchen right behind, and a really small but pretty cozy hallway right over here with a sink and a bathroom. Pretty nice use of space over here. Huge backyard out back, at least for this one. A nice porch with a grill, a dedicated room for your pool table, and a really nice view upstairs to look down at the living room. Upstairs there's a couple different bedrooms, like this one with a big TV, a dedicated bathroom with a walk-in shower, a super tiny storage spot, big closet with tons of room across the bedroom as well. Even a good view for this one looking out the lake houses from this nice window. Genuinely a really nice house design, pretty spacious with some really cool elements, and room for just about everything, but not exactly over the top either. Debatably my new favorite house design in game. Moving forward to new house design number 2 of this neighborhood, we've got a house that actually has been in game before technically, but just not claimable. Some may remember this as Bunny's house in some of the past Halloween events, except this version is a little less run down. Kinda similar to the old big 2-story house design like the one right next to this, although this one I'd say is a bit more like an improved version. Big thing is the separated garage doors, 2 separate ones instead of the huge one we got over there. Pretty nice garage lighting in here too, and even an attached garage door on the side for entry. I gotta say, this garage is a definite highlight of the house. Fairly small in terms of height and depth compared to some others in the game, but it actually works pretty well I'd say. Still big enough to fit a crew cab truck in here in the tightest spot. Coming into the house up front, pretty grand looking front door, a closet and a stairwell off to the left, and a lounge room and a laundry room off to the right. Door over here leads out to the garage as well. Coming into the kitchen, it's a huge open area. Kitchen, living room, and dining room all kind of put into one. Not my favorite, but it works. Definitely got to give it to the original big 2-story house design for this type of area. Going upstairs, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be, with a couple rooms and a lookout to your side yard by the pool table. Got to make use of all the space, so this house also has a tiny closet exactly the depth of the door, which opens into the closet, so you actually can't put anything in here, but it's the thought that counts. Finally, saving the most grand for last, the third and final new house design this neighborhood has brought us. Take a look at this thing, Greenville's first actual mansion. This place is huge. Absolutely makes the last house design I checked look minuscule. Just like that one, there's a 3-car garage, except this one's a little bigger, a bit more depth, and technically it's detached from the house. Except that can't slide in a house like this, so there's a little notch at the back of the garage with a door, leading you to a huge mudroom that connects you to the actual home. And man, oh man, look at this place once you step inside. Extremely high ceilings and an almost bridge-like walkway over the living room area for the 2nd floor. Extremely spacious kitchen, a dining room with a picture of the family kittens, a massive 1st floor master bedroom with an equally as large bathroom, which also had to keep up the large theme and have a large closet attached. Upstairs, there's 2 spacious bedrooms off to the right, then across your bridge is a pool table and a big window to look out, then a bedroom and another bathroom. Honestly, less rooms than I expected. They're just all really big. Not gonna lie, back when Six Houses was getting redone about 3 years ago, I was really hoping it wouldn't be a gated community, and it wasn't then. But years later, the neighborhood has fallen and finally become one, and it turned out super nice to be honest. Moving away from the map stuff for a bit, I gotta touch on another huge change. Something that's been in the plans for ages, the dealership interface, has finally been reworked. I think this has actually been in the talks for probably like 4 years at this point, with various stuff relating to it on hold until we got to this point. And let me say, it's definitely a massive upgrade from what we had before. From this to this. Completely new look for the dealership in general, with a new background as well. Already pretty cool as is, shows you how many pages the dealership has at the bottom. Still has all the filters to choose from, everything we're used to, but the best part comes when you actually click on a car. Unlike before with a small static preview of the car in the corner of your screen, you get a big full view of the car you're on that you can actually pan around and watch change as you customize it. You can check basically every angle of the car you want before buying it, seeing it with whatever options you want. The specs are now no longer a separate tab and are now neatly included on the sidebar, even now telling tells you the availability of stuff like AEB, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and launch control. Another big plus with the new dealership system comes with selecting trims and selecting rims. No more is infinite clicking not knowing when they end. Now you have a drop-down menu for both where you can clearly see all of the available options to choose from. For rims, you can even see exactly how each one looks before selecting it, just like in the rim shop. Even something as simple as exiting or entering the dealership is improved with this brief loading screen. Overall, a huge upgrade, even still manages to retain that Greenville interface look and fit in great with the rest of the game while still absolutely making huge improvements. The dealership wasn't the only thing redone like that though. The whole vehicle customization side of things was redone in a similar fashion as well. Drive up to one of the customization spots and you'll enter a no collision area, sort of like Truckers MP. Then all you gotta do is press the enter garage button and you'll find yourself in the new customization menu. If you enter at the roadmap dealership, you'll get the typical roadmap body shop background just as if you were in the dealership menu, but if you enter at any of the other customization locations like Ron's or Gary's, your backdrop will be this sweet shop of prop cars, toolboxes, lifts, and a bunch of other cool random props in the foreground. Off to the left, you'll find a cart for every new modification you've applied to your car and how much it'll cost to purchase. Off to the right, you'll find the paint menu. Back to that in a second though, because at the top of your screen, you're able to switch between everything you might need. Repaints, license plate changes, wheel swaps, and suspension editing are all here in one spot. In terms of each individual menu, they all have their own improvements. Under the paint section, you can now finally change secondary colors like stripes or two-tone, brake caliper colors, and even interior colors on convertibles. These cars, like the Ford GT Roadster, have been set up for this stuff for ages, and now we're finally able to access this. You can actually be able to make some truly great looking cars with this. Customization is absolutely on a different level now, and I'm only at the paint section. With this endangered species Ford Windstar actually got another April Fool's update, you could say. What a car with that customizable two-tone. The plate section is fairly similar, just much more compact than before, still able to do custom text, frames, and covers, and people without the premium customization game pass are now able to change plate states. Wheel customization remains the same, and so does the suspension section, except the preview button is no longer, and you just preview it automatically as you change it. Big changes here, but let's swap over to the cars. It is an April Fool's update after all, so let's see what kind of wacky cars we got in store this year. All right, let's see this. All right. I've tried not to look at them, but I have seen some of them. Oh, I just saw the limo. This limo is... I think Hunter wasn't lying when he said this might be the craziest, most ridiculous April Fool's car update ever.
I'm just gonna start purchasing. I'm looking at the Accord right now.
I'm gonna get the Geo Metro limo. The Accord, this is great.
Is so stupid. What's
the
I don't get
Tesla?
it. Yeah, like
the Tesla. This is
about?
rebadged as a Civic. Like it has the fictional Civic badges. Like people are actually doing. This one I think is actually a popular one because this thing is cheap. Like dirt cheap, dude. 11 grand, and you actually get like a decent car. This thing's actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think this was like this is gonna be a limited ages ago. I'm not gonna get this one yet, but if you want to get that, I'll totally.
Dude, I'm buying all of them right now.
Okay,
so.
I'll check it out with you then.
I just bought all the limiteds.
The brick cars. Hunter did tell me about this one. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at there.
The exhaust tips are incredible. Oh, dude, the boat is also incredible.
The boat's actually
the Accord. I'm gonna do the Accord.
I'm gonna buy the boat just because
boat.
It's cool. I'm buying this definitely. The old Western Python. This is kind of a weird one. I guess it was never in game. The 6x6 synth. This thing is a classic. It was made like 2021 and now it's actually here. Never thought I'd actually see it in game. This thing actually doesn't look too bad. It's like one of the most normal cars, and that's really weird to say because this thing is a brick car, but I just looked at all of them. I think it's time to go drive them.
Yeah. Yep.
I bought 2
I got the boat.
or 3, I think. Did I not buy it? Oh no, okay. Yeah, I definitely did buy it. Never mind. What what a car right here we got, dude.
The Detroit Classic right here.
Sorry,
It's gonna be the same sounds, but yep.
Oh, that thing is shaking crazy.
That thing needs some engine mounts. My gosh.
We gotta take these all for a spin. Let me start up the Geo Metro. Nothing insane, I'm assuming. And no, just regular Geo Metro stuff. Gabe, you still have your RV?
Wait,
dude, it's a quadrisphere?
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I
the
just
windows
realized
on
that.
the side. I just saw
Dude,
that.
the stars
it's like
are
a panel
so
van on one
silly.
side.
I didn't realize it was different on both sides. No, pull up next to it. Kinda comparable. Actually kinda comparable.
Let me get something else out.
This thing, I've already had my fair share of it. Kind of. It doesn't drive the best, but I wouldn't mind swapping out with one of your cars later. Oh, this is something I was actually curious to try. Let me actually buy that.
This might have the same
Don't eat
sounds
it,
as the
man.
moped in Bloxburg.
I know what you're talking. What? This is only $5 grand? Dude, I think Hunter told me it'd be cheap. I don't think it'd be that cheap.
I might have to buy it if it's just $5 grand.
Definitely the sounds from Bloxburg. That has to be. It actually sounds fine too. Like it doesn't seem weird. This drives like I'm lagging or something. It's bad.
I just think it's just like, I don't know, it kind of drives how it looks.
It kinda does.
Okay.
Oh, what is this
no
horn?
steering.
You want to swap? Oh, okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'll surprise you, all right? You should spawn the limo, though.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you drive that, because this thing is kind of terrible to drive long distances.
I have a treat for you.
If it's going to be the Western, I'd like, oh,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I'm excited to see this thing. It sounds like the DeLorean.
What's the DeLorean? Yeah, I was about to say.
This thing is actually kind of cool with the wide body, I'm not going to lie. Gabe, you got a new car? See you standing over there.
Yep.
We got to race this in my Kaiju.
Is that fast?
I mean, it looks fast. It has a turbo. I'm going to drive this to the drag strip, and then we'll switch there. Dude, that thing looks great. How does it drive, Gabe?
Pretty good. Those straight cut gears kind of sound
I know
sick,
they
I'm not
sound
gonna lie.
nuts. I just was about to mention that.
It's actually kind of sick.
I don't know. I feel like the Kaiju might still win.
Okay, that thing sounds wild, dude.
I know it does. It does. This road actually looks really nice redone. I noticed
Yeah,
that.
it's great.
Okay, thank you for the speed boost.
Welcome for the speed boost.
Please tell me I have fuel in this. Actually, there's a gas station right there, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I do have fuel in it for once. This thing already feels faster, and I like barely started accelerating. I think you're gonna get smoked, honestly.
All right, well, let's see.
Here we go. Okay,
Dude.
yeah. This thing is gone. This thing remains the king. What am I gonna run with
You're actually
this?
like almost spun out there, dude.
I
That
know,
was kinda
and it's
insane.
all-wheel drive too. 10-2. That's honestly slower than I thought it'd be. So what else you got? Forget what other cars are there. Is there anything else we haven't checked out?
I got this thing, which is pretty stupid.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. I don't know how I could forget about it. What a great one. Oh, okay, here's my Tesla. Take a look at my Civic, guys. It looks incredible.
Oh, yo.
For 11 grand, probably like the best
Yeah.
deal in game for like an actual car. With the limiteds out of the way, let's get to the less unusual vehicles in the update. Finally can get a good look at these things in the dealership without spawning them in, so here we go. First off, we got the Beater 2000 Honda Civic hatchback. Fat dent in the door, a missing headlight, a falling grille, a mismatched fender and missing mirror, and some more bumps and bruises on the side too. Driving wise, it's identical to the budget and base trims, just has 8 less horsepower and a 6-speed transmission. Moving forward, the fictionalized E60 is coming in with a pretty familiar design. Definitely pretty E60-like overall, regardless if you opt for the regular 5 Series sedan or wagon or M5 sedan or wagon. After these comes a lot, and I mean a lot, of Aston Martins between the DB9, Rapide, Virage, Vanquish, and multiple separate variants of some of them as well. There's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Moving forward from the Aston Martin attack, we have actually one of my favorite vehicles in this update, the 2014 Lexus IS. This thing has been in the works for years and definitely has earned a reputation for it, even in the physical dealership itself where the usual price tag has been replaced by just 2 years. I gotta say though, I think this thing was worth the wait. This design looks incredible in my opinion, super similar to a real IS, but with some, I dare even say, improved design elements like this extra line that swoops up on the rear doors and the 2017 Plus looking taillights. Quite a detailed headlight design as well, even though the half daytime running lights on the car has been somewhat controversial. Super cool to see the small details on the car change from any angle now while just switching through the trims, and again, definitely think the design of this thing came out great after all of its many revisions. It was actually even a real design at first. That's how long this thing has been in the works. The next vehicle is another foreign sports car, except this one is a little more sporty than the last, the BK2 Genesis Coupe. This thing I've come to like a bit more, but this huge chunk of the bumper below the grille just really makes the car look a little unfinished to me. Regardless though, it looks like a Genesis Coupe, and I still think it turned out pretty nice. Got 2 trims, the base and the upgraded track trim as well. 2 rim options, no reps though. Moving forward past a mountain of more Aston Martins, we get to the 2023 and 2025 G87 M2, along with the 22 and 25 2 Series. Definitely can get behind this design, looks great, actually improves upon what a lot of people don't like about the real G87. It has a more normal grille design, unlike the real one's boxy grille, despite the kidneys being connected on here like all the fictional BMWs. Well, I've actually kind of grown on the real M2's grille. This definitely doesn't look bad either, kind of 8 Series looking. The taillights are probably the highlight of this car though. Looks like a real M2, except the taillights actually extend into the trunk and make the rear of the car look finished. The real M2 just kind of cuts off. Thankfully here in game we'd have to put tape over the trunk to imagine what these taillights would look like. Another very similar to the real thing car design this update has brought to us is the fictionalized 6th gen Camaro. From the base inline 4 V6 cars to the SS to the ZL1, you've got some pretty solid options. All really good looking cars I'd say, can't go wrong with a newer Camaro, including the 1000 horsepower Hennessy ZL1 variant for $130,000. Pretty misc car on the update, the 2023 Kia K5. Not much to note, but a nice design for sure. Similar upward swooping line on the rear doors to the Lexus IS from earlier. Good RP car for sure. The one and only pickup truck in this update is the 2025 Toyota Tacoma with a multitude of trims from the base trucks to the TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Even got some V6 options in this thing, unlike the real one. Design wise, absolutely looks like a Tacoma, just has some slightly more Tundra inspired looking taillights with the extra bar going across. And finally, our last vehicle in the whole update is the 2026 3rd generation Western Proto-Gen. Way back in 2020 when the last generation Proto-Gen was released, I bought this thing for an update video. Coming up on 5 years later, I bought a near identical Gen Gen 3. A lot has changed, and realistically, this thing was due for a bit of an update. Side by side, the model is a definite improvement, and keep in mind the Gen 2 was already a huge upgrade from the original car too. While pretty similar in design language to the old one in the front, the rear is definitely a huge change on the 2026 model, especially with the turn signals being sequential across the entire rear light. Neat design element for sure. If you're a fan of this thing, you've definitely got some options between the wagon and sedan trims, as well as the 2 police department variants. Now that the vehicle's out of the way, it's map time. Again, there's genuinely a ton of newer updated buildings, a grand total of 8, not including the new houses from earlier or this new drive-in movie theater across from the gas station right outside of Horton. Definitely not the neighborhood I thought it was originally going to be. Looks like they're playing some really high quality movies tonight though. Little gravel road downward to the theater itself, and you're met with this really nice admission spot to stop at, drive past the entry point, and you're in. Super nice lighting in here when you pull up at night, as you should, to park up and watch your movie, or you can go sit down at one of these benches up here too. Moving further into Horton, one of the very first buildings off to the right when you enter the main town, Ignition Auto Parts and Paint, has received an interior. First of all, you can head into the back of this place to customize your car in the sweet looking shop area. Not the first shop like that in game, but what is the actual parts store section of this place. Different spots across the store for whatever you may need, be it filters, batteries, or performance parts. Place turned out great. Was super excited for this to eventually get an interior when I first saw it as a prop, exactly like the next building across town, reviving the name from an old farming game and corporatizing it. You got a Whole Foods-esque grocery store. Interior is in a pretty similar style to the auto parts store, sections for everything you need, and even a deli area out back with an attached kitchen. Another food-related place in the area, an interior has been added to the ice cream station. Really cool old-style place. If you have a sweet tooth, this isn't the only dessert spot you can hit up around here. Crumble Cookie, or Crispy Cookie, is now in town as well with the actual crumble color theme and some of the real cookies on the wall too. But if you still aren't full from those, Super Witch has a new location integrated into the other side of the exact same building. This Super Witch couldn't out Super Witch the old Super Witch though, so the original Super Witch has had an interior redo to keep up as well. A lot of people were thinking the smaller Super Witch was going to go into the recently vacated spot over by Jimbo's in the Tesla store. Can't say that wasn't a good guess, but that spot has been filled by something else new. This camping supply store with everything you might need to visit Fox campgrounds, even a deer. Finally, the under construction building across from McDonald's has been completed, introducing the new Taco Bell. Whole lot of food options in the area now, that's for sure. And aside from a few other random changes, such as the updated tire smoke, 2 new taxis, an updated radio UI, a bump of the max car slots to 20 for non-Game Pass owners, and 100 for Game Pass owners, beyond crazy at this point, new bus stops all around the map, and a redone help menu with some frequently asked questions and the gameplay rules. That right there is the Grenville update in my first video of 2025.